Welcome to Sports Guy Talking. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about the Celtics being one win away from going to the NBA Finals. The Celtics defeated the Heat by the score of 93-80 in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals, as their defense has been playing excellent. Jimmy Butler and the entire Heat team have been ice cold in the last two games, which has contributed heavily to the Celtics going up 3-2 in the Eastern Conference Finals series. Before I say anything else, though, I want to present you guys with the topic question. So, here it is. Is it time to declare that the Celtics will win the Eastern Conference Finals series? And my verdict to that will be not quite yet. I know that last night I was thinking, oh man, this series is going to be over for sure. I was like, oh, what a devastating end to the Miami Heat team. Then I realized, hey, everything that we've been learning in this series, you better unlearn it, because whatever's been happening in this series, nothing has been sustainable. Look, I know that the Boston Celtics are up 3-2, and I know that the Miami Heat team have been terrible in games 4 and 5, especially on the offensive end of the floor, because they've only averaged 81 points. When you look at their Game 4 and Game 5 stats in terms of points per game, that's not going to be sustainable throughout a series. And if you've known anything about this series, nothing is sustainable. Look, one game, Jayson Tatum, he could go off, look like the best player on the planet. The next game, Jayson Tatum could go out there and look like garbage out there. Or Marcus Smart, he can go out there and look like a three-point sniper. And then the next game, he's just going to do nothing but shoot bricks. But you know what's one constant? Robert Williams III. He's the starting center for the Boston Celtics. Yeah, I'm looking at his box score line in Game 5, 6 points, 10 rebounds. You're thinking, oh, what impact could he have possibly had with only 6 and 10? Well, I'm telling you this. He had a huge impact for the Boston Celtics in Game 5. If Robert Williams doesn't play in Game 5 for the Celtics, the Miami Heat win that game. The Boston Celtics are a completely different basketball team when they have Robert Williams III playing basketball, because this guy's a great rim protector, and you can tell that the Miami Heat, they are intimidated in terms of driving to the lane, because they don't want to go anywhere near that guy's presence, which is forcing them to chuck up shots. And when they've been shooting from the outside, I know there's supposed to be this elite shooting basketball team, and I truly believe that they were going to do that, but so far in this series, particularly in games 4 and 5, they have not done that. The Miami Heat went 7 of 45 from the three-point line. No, I didn't misspeak that stat. The Miami Heat made 7 three-pointers out of a possible 45 shots that they took from behind the arc. That's a 15.6%. When a team shoots that poorly from 3, yeah, they're not going to win a lot of ball games. It's really that simple. And the Boston Celtics, I want to address their three-point shooting, because they weren't good either. The Boston Celtics, they went 10 of 33 from the three-point line. That's only a 30.3% shooting clip. Look, if a team is shooting 30.3% from the three-point line, they're usually supposed to lose that game. That did not happen for the Boston Celtics, because that was actually basically double of what the Miami Heat hit in terms of their percentage, 15.6%. I want to talk about some of these guys that shot threes. Kyle Lowry, 0 of 5 from 3, 0 of 6 for the entire game, as a matter of fact. Kyle Lowry, that man has been a disappointment for the Miami Heat throughout the NBA playoffs. When the Miami Heat signed this guy in the offseason, they expected him to be the difference between the Heat being able to advance out of the East. And he has not done that. He has not done that whatsoever. He's been in and out of the lineup because of hamstring injuries, and when he's played, he's actually made the Miami Heat worse. He's made me think that, man, the Miami Heat, they might have to bench Kyle Lowry regardless of his health. Depending on how he's feeling, they might have to just put him on the bench, because he has been terrible for the Miami Heat. Kyle Lowry, he played 25 minutes. You might as well have said that he was doing cardio, because he didn't score a point. He got 1 rebound. He got no assists. He got no steals, no blocks. He turned over the basketball 3 times, and he fouled his opponent 5 times. He committed 5 fouls in that game. That was the only significant thing that he did. Other than that, Kyle Lowry was doing cardio. Okay? So what I was seeing in Game 5, that was unacceptable. If I'm the Miami Heat, I'm starting Gabe Vincent Game 6 regardless. Because Gabe Vincent, I saw what he was doing. Yeah, he struggled from the field. Yeah, he shot 1 of 7 from 3. But you could see he was actually hustling to the ball. You could see that he wasn't pressing with mistakes. Kyle Lowry is playing like a rookie scrub right now in these playoffs. I know he's compromised of his health, but still, this man is basically doing advanced cardio, because that's exactly what he has shown. If I'm the Miami Heat, they have got to start Gabe Vincent Game 6. If they start Gabe Vincent Game 6, or at least give him more play time than Kyle Lowry, they got a chance. Okay, because Gabe Vincent, he's actually been looking pretty decent when he's been on the floor. Now, here are some other players that I want to pile on with the Miami Heat. Victor Oladipo, he played 15 minutes. He went 1 of 7 from the field. He might as well have just not shown up to work because he seemed to forgot that there was a game. I know he showed up in game 4, but game 5, where the heck was Victor Oladipo? Nowhere to be found. Had 4 turnovers himself. And then Duncan Robinson, the man that's supposed to be an expert at shooting threes. He's supposed to be a three-point sniper. He has been anything but that. Now, to his credit, he did knock down 3 threes. That's more than what most of the Miami Heat players ended up doing, but he went 3 of 10 from the three-point line. That's not going to cut it. He only scored 11 points. I mean, come on. Duncan Robinson is supposed to be a shooter, and he has not done that. I know that he's been on the bench a lot in these NBA playoffs. They've been inconsistent with his minutes, but I don't know what happened to Duncan Robinson's elite shooting. Duncan Robinson is supposed to be one of the best shooters in all of basketball, and he has not shown that in the series whatsoever. So to see what the Miami Heat have shown me, man, I just can't believe what they've been showing me. And Bam Adebayo, I know his job's not to take threes. His job's to attack the paint, stay in the paint, get the rebounds, score down low, be in the dunker spot. He did do his job. He did score 18 points. But, I mean, come on. It didn't really feel like he was impacting the game. He was getting dominated by Robert Williams III. I know that Robert Williams III, he's a high-impact player for the Boston Celtics. But, I mean, come on, guys. Come on. Bam Adebayo's a max player. He's got to start playing like a max player more often than not. And Jimmy Butler, don't get me started with this guy. Jimmy Butler, 4 of 18 from the field, 1 of 5 from the three-point line, 13 points in 40 minutes. And this guy's supposed to be the superstar for the Miami Heat. If you're a superstar for the Miami Heat and you're putting up 13 points in a Game 5 in the Eastern Conference Finals, that is unacceptable. That cannot happen. Cannot happen. When that happens, I don't know how the Miami Heat are expected to even show themselves some dignity and win that ball game. And obviously, they didn't go on and win that ball game. For them to score 80 points in a Game 5 at home in the Eastern Conference Finals, man, they're making me lose my confidence in my pick. Look, before the series started, I picked the Miami Heat to win 7 games. I guess I'm going to still stand by that pick, but I have no confidence whatsoever because right now, Boston, they're looking like they're the better basketball team, and they're looking like they're knocking down more shots. And regardless of how elite this Miami Heat defense is, if their offense doesn't show up, who cares how good their defense is going to be? Look, their defense could go Dennis Rodman mode at the 90s, and they could still lose because that's how bad they've been playing on offense. Now that I've done enough piling on with the Miami Heat, though, I want to go ahead and give some credit to the Boston Celtics. Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they've done a good job throughout the series. I know they've been inconsistent, but they've played their roles well, and they've knocked down the shots they needed to, and they play elite defense. So I got to give credit where credit is due. Okay, so I don't want to sound like I'm hating on the Miami Heat and piling on them, not giving the Boston Celtics any credit, because that's not what I'm doing. And Ime Udoka, first-year head coach of the Boston Celtics, I can't say enough about this guy. This guy's a defensive mastermind. It's been a great hire for the Boston Celtics. He's overachieved with them, and credit to them where credit is due. But now let me go ahead and get to the topic question, even though I kind of addressed this earlier. Let me repeat it again. Is it time to declare that the Celtics will win the Eastern Conference Final Series? And from what I've seen, I'm not going to declare it's over. The Miami Heat have no shot. I'm not going to pull Stephen A. Smith here and say that because I really don't think the series is going to be over. Look, I know the Miami Heat offense, they've been terrible in games 4 and 5, and we need to roast them for that. But I don't think it's going to continue over for a Game 6 and a Game 7 because there's no way that an NBA team, especially one that is as good as the Miami Heat, is going to continue to shoot poorly from the field the way they are. They're the number 1 three-point shooting team in the NBA for a reason. That didn't just happen overnight. That wasn't just a fluke. They did that because they're actually good. And let's see what's going to happen for Tyler Hero in Game 6. Because it's apparent that the Miami Heat, they miss him right now because they need this guy's scoring presence. Because when Tyler Hero plays, the Miami Heat team looked like a completely different basketball team. I did not know that was going to be the case. I didn't think that if Tyler Hero missed Games 4 and 5, the Miami Heat offense was going to go down the plumber. But that's exactly what they've done. So I just got to give a shout out to Tyler Hero for being how important to this offense for the Miami Heat and how they really need his presence. But if they can get him back Game 6, I'm not going to be sweating too much. They got the playoff experience. They got what they need. They got the shooting. They got everything they need. They just need to knock down shots and bench Kyle Lowry for Game 6. If they do those things, I think they're going to win Game 6 in Boston. But let's see what happens. If the Boston Celtics get red hot and start playing like themselves on the offensive side of the ball, because they haven't played good either on the offensive side of the floor. But if they start playing like themselves in Game 6, It's going to be hard for this Miami Heat team. I know I sound like I'm giving two answers, but I'm really conflicted with how this series is going to play out. But to answer the topic question that I presented at the beginning of the show, no, it is not time to declare that the Boston Celtics will win the series. This is far from over. And if the Miami Heat, if they start playing like themselves on offense, a Game 7 is going to happen in Miami. And you know what happens in a Game 7 in the NBA? Anything can happen in a Game 7. That's why I like to say the two greatest words I like to hear in the NBA, Game 7. So that's how I'm looking at it. Miami Heat, if they can win Game 6, I'm confident they can go back on the home floor, try again in Game 7, come out victorious. But they got to play well in Game 6. They can't play mediocre and expect to win. If they play mediocre in Game 6, they might as well waive their chances of going to the NBA Finals. Goodbye. They got to play well, but I believe they can play well. They're not going to continue playing this poorly, or at least they shouldn't. But who knows? With the way how the series has been playing out, anything could happen. So that is why I will not declare the series to be over, as the Heat could still bounce back and force a Game 7 on their home floor. As we know it, at least at the moment, anything could happen in the Game 7, which means that the Heat definitely could still win the series in the Eastern Conference Finals. Still, though, they got to go ahead and play good basketball moving forward. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking, like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I will shout you guys out, or at least may shout you guys out in a future video. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at Dustin Tran and at Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter at Dustin Tran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel, Sports Guy Talking.